Good morning everybody and welcome back to another video here on the channel where today we're going to be doing something fairly exciting, or at least to me. Recently, obviously, all the new summer LEGO sets got revealed, and one of my, most anticipated from this wave was of course going to be the grocery store from the LEGO City lineup. Now, those of you who know me well at this point on the channel will know that the grocery store or a supermarket in like the LEGO City or modular format is one of my most wanted sets of all time. So you can imagine I was pretty excited, although also fairly apprehensive. And while I knew I wasn't going to expect too much from this new set, I couldn't help be a bit disappointed with the final result. I mean, it fits exactly with what they were what they were doing and what they were aiming for, but it's not what I had in my head. So months ago, before this was announced, in preparation for my inevitable disappointment, I'd actually started building my own custom grocery store in the LEGO City style, and I thought we'd take a look at what I did and see which one worked out better. Now, as a warning before we jump over to studio, mine is unfinished, and I also had a lot of unfinished ideas, so what I will do is I will show you the model, and then talk about the real grocery store, why it disappointed me, and also show you my concept art that I drew up for this model as well. So without further ado, I want to show you the exciting part first. Let's go straight in to studio. Okay, so yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said it was unfinished, but you can definitely see what I was going for here. I suppose the first thing to take a look at with this model is, of course, exactly what we all expected when we heard a grocery store was coming from LEGO City, is that we would have road plates included. Now, I included a fair few more than the actual grocery store, but one area that we both got right was the car park, which of course contains an electric vehicle charging station, which is something that I sort of expected them to include in this set, and actually I'm shocked that they didn't, given their love and affinity for electric charging stations at the moment. So my car park is actually just put on normal tiles. However, these over here are road plates, so you would get two of the big ones and then one of the thinner strip, which in this case would be used for a zebra crossing, which I think is something, and then you've got the slants on the end. Now, while I never got around to finishing this design, my plan was to include a delivery truck and a small car, which strangely enough is very similar to what the real grocery store did. I knew that if LEGO was going to make a LEGO City grocery store, they would want to make playability out of someone coming to shop, and what better way to do that would have been a car. However, as you'll see in my concept art later, my car was going to be a car with a working boot feature. Now, the reason I wanted a boot or a trunk for you Americans was so that we could actually put the shopping somewhere, or else the car's sort of pointless. This is one of the minor areas that I was a bit disappointed in with the grocery store, is the fact that the little red car literally has space for one person and no shopping at all. So what's the point in bringing your car to a supermarket, would be my only question. Another thing that I included, and I think that they did fairly similarly, was of course the bike racks, which you can see out the front here. While they didn't include any bikes in the set, I again saw the influence that the eco sort of drive LEGO Cities had was going to have on this set, and while theirs was a bit different to mine, I included a bike rack out the front made using the hoop pieces in the same style as the City Shopping Street from 2021 was with the road plates. My colour scheme for the build is actually fairly different as well. I was going for a white with this medium azure, and then using the medium nougat to sort of bring it all in together. I wanted this look to look a bit more, I don't know, just like a general store, almost like a cutaway of a supermarket, whereas they were definitely going, and I should have guessed from the name, grocery store, they were linking into their farm theme and organic produce. That should have been very clear for me for the beginning, and I had planned for no large sign or anything at the front. In fact, the roof was one of the areas of the design that I had the least idea about what I wanted to do. Following on from this link to their eco drive that I assumed they'd be following given the new farm sets, is I had assumed that there would be some sort of green area where people could buy some food and then come and have a picnic. So I had built a small picnic area very similar to the picnic in the park set. This would have contained one of the new squirrels that LEGO City have introduced, because it's a common theme at the moment, and I thought that they would want to continue that in this set. So we've got a little stone picnic bench with a dark brown top. You've got a little tiny pond, which is maybe a tad unrealistic for a City 6+ build, and you've got the beginnings of a tree, which I would have finished off had I'd had more time. You've also got this fence, which is actually a continuation of the colour scheme from earlier. Without further ado, let's talk about the inside and where most of my criticisms of the official grocery store come in. Now, firstly, I did want to address the fact that with the door, in my opinion, the grocery store should have had a sliding door feature. It's so iconic to most supermarkets that the doors slide open. However, I understand that the new double door piece was pretty much perfect for the job, and well, was a great inclusion. I was even tempted to include it myself when I'd seen that piece in January. Most of my concerns, though, come from the inside. So initially, you'll notice quite a lot of similarities to the official model. I had designed a bread, and this would have been like pretzels and cakes area, so sort of your baked goods section over here on the right of the sliding door, which would then just slide into this gap here, behind what would be a normal shelf. These shelves are all designed to be removable, they're all on jumper studs, and that was done, well, one, because they're going to block off my fridge area, but two, so that you can rearrange the supermarket and gain easier access to play around. My model was indeed going to include a brick-built trolley design, as I did not believe LEGO would use the LEGO Friends version, which they used in the official set. However, that is a perfectly fine inclusion, and it is a wonderful piece as well, so no criticisms there. The shelves and stuff I wanted to include was something I was particularly fond of, and I really wanted to include lots of larger food items or printed elements that you don't often get to see in simple sets. I didn't just want this to be another food extra pack, or like with the official grocery store, just including your veggies. So while I had an area for my bread, and I probably would have put some pumpkins and some other small fruit items around this store, I wanted this to be mostly about produce. Which brings us over to our fridges. We have 3 fridge segments that will open up, and once again there is a nice 2x12 or so space here, which would allow for many different types of produce, and most importantly for the produce to come off the shelves and be brought, which is something so crucial to this model working. Of course, you would have your milk, chocolate milk, and orange juice, just like the official set includes its orange juice. However, I wanted to take this further. In my head, not only would you have your bottles of water, but prints such as the Vita Rush juice can, which recently appeared on the back of Cosmic Cardboard Adventures, would make a reappearance in this set. Furthermore, over on the dry aisles, which is what these 2 lines here would represent, you would see items such as a new cereal box, the soup cans would make a return, as well as lots of little constructions made out of brick-built elements, as well as elements like the egg element, the fish piece, which would probably appear in the freezer, as well as hopefully some new prints. We could have had something like a pasta bag and so on. Where the original set really does excel, though, is in the inclusion of stuff like the corn on the cob and the fruit elements. It really does lean into that organic nature, and I think, to me, I'm just looking for more of those produce prints, which we really do lack in our LEGO lineup. I would love to see more elements such as what we had in the Chinese New Year, where it had all of these brightly coloured food elements such as the cooked fish, and well, obviously you're not going to sell a pre-cooked fish inside these cabinets. You could always, I would love to see something like a packet of peas, or I don't know, I'm really stretching here, I should have thought about this more coming into it, but the plan was to have a full decorated assortment of food, which could either be stickers or not. We could always include pies and things, just to be really creative, include the full range of LEGO foods, whether it be meat, fish, dairy, produce, rather than just going down the eco lineup. However, we've obviously got our fridges here, which once again were actually, the front was removable for even easier access, but we've also got the till area over here, which I never actually finished, but the idea was that you would have your till here where you'd be able to pay, and this would look like a traditional supermarket till with the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt unfortunately would not work at this scale, but the idea was just to have a scanning area, and then up above you would have some aisle signs coming out from the front on those long rolls, and you would have like one and it would say butter or something. That's another print I would love to see. The cheese piece returning from Speedy Gonzales' collectible minifigure would have been great to see. And actually, in one of my earlier drafts, I did actually have a delivery and storage room attached to the side, which is of course one of my favourite features in the official set. The official set also does have some sort of bottle like filler. We're not really sure what it is over on the left wall. It looks like either a bottle recycling area, or in fact maybe a bottle filler like a water station. However, we're really unsure about that, and it really wasn't a priority going into this model. There was also a discussion when I was designing this that we would include elements such as a robber to be a thief in the store. This was following on from January's focus on funny criminals, in a sense, like the ice cream thieves. I was thinking about a shoplifter. However, in the end, I chose to go for the creative play route, which is what we would see, and I just really wanted this opportunity to get lots of more branded food opportunities. We see them do such a good opportunity and make such use of this In other themes, like I particularly think of the recent Friends Theatre School, where we have these posters for elves and all of these references. What I would love to see would be like Johnny Thunder branded cereal, or even just the cornflake piece return from the the Ninjago movie CMF. Stuff like the Eggo waffles and all of these different branded opportunities that you have, but in their own fun Lego style, like the Cheery Owls from the Harry Potter line. You know I love my branded food opportunities, and there are so many different things that we could see. Boxed pizza can make a return with a new branded top. I come back to the soup cans from the Simpsons line, as well as like the energy drinks. You could of course have your magazines on one of the end racks here, as well as all the brick-built possibilities to make even more food that you get across the waves. There's been so many lovely prints over the years, and I think this would have been a perfect opportunity to get more. However, the Eco Drive is also very important. I just wanted to see a more traditional supermarket, and without further ado, let's jump into the Brickset page and take a closer look at the official set and where I think we misstepped. So I guess I should really clarify that this is still a great set. I absolutely love the idea of getting this as a first for City, and I think it's so special like that. However, when it being one of these sets that I'd wanted for so long, you can't help but feel like there's a tad bit of missed potential. And I think that sums up a lot of my relationship with the summer sets this year. As well, a lot of great surprises have appeared, and we'll be talking about those very soon with our most wanted sets of the summer list. This was one where I just couldn't help feel like it just missed its potential a little bit. Still a great first step for City though, so let's talk about it. First things first, I love, well, I wanted to do it in my original, the car park inclusion and the car and the road plate integration is again, road plate integration this wave is really on point, and while this one's at the side, it serves dual purpose with the little entrance mechanic, which I think is so cool. This is really great. I love the idea of putting the delivery plane here with the forklift, and you can push crates through onto the side. I maybe wish it was in its own like separate room, like a delivery room, so it just didn't look like you were just literally shoving a forklift through the wall of your store. But you know, playability can't be helped, and I really like the way that function's been built and how it works. Another thing that I think they did well is the carrot out the front for the fresh produce like nature of this store, and the way they wanted to do it works perfectly, and the fresh branding across the whole wave is so tight. I'm a really big fan of that. However, one thing I'm not a huge fan of is the colour scheme. It just feels too forced to me. Green is good, ha 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 ha. I would have preferred a much more interesting colour scheme, something a bit more neutral on the palette that didn't feel so forced. I find that City palettes either go one of two ways, either they're completely neutral or they're just completely themed, and I think this is one of the ones where it could have benefited from looking a bit more like a real building, just like how Friends has been doing with its theatres and stuff. Barely any of those original Friends accents are even still there on some of the sets this wave, and I think it's really impressive. Another thing that I do like though, let's mix it up with some positives, is the figure selection. One thing I was really struggling with my design was on who I wanted to include as figures. I settled on maybe 2 employees, one for the truck and one for the store, and mine were fairly generic. However, the ones here we have are really nice, really colourful, and are just great additions. The pea suit's return is perfect once again, and I'm actually a really big fan of Mr. Produce as well. I think he's great looking. I would really wish he would come in another set. Perfect store owner, exactly what I wanted. Named character looks fantastic. Prosthetic leg also looks really good. Nice to see that piece here, and also that figure's colour palette's just really nice with the blue and the knitted torso. Really big fan of those pieces as well. He looks great. And then the other civilians also really nice standouts. Just a really good figure selection. Exactly what I wanted to think up for my own model. However, I'm just not that good sometimes. I just couldn't do it. But that's besides the point. Another thing I like about the set is whatever's going on with the bottles. Now, we don't know if it's a recycling feature yet, or if it's just just fill up your bottle here, but there looks to be that the wall's pretty thick, that there might be some sort of function there, and even if there's not, it's okay. It looks nice. It's better than an electrical charging port, and I give that to them as being unique. If it is a recycling point, why is it on the inside? Should have been on the outside, and that should have been storage space. If it's something else, then I understand why it's on the inside. I really thought that this would go the same way as the Quickie Mart, where we'd have like a coffee thing as well, and I definitely think that the till area is one of the most disappointing in the entire set. There's just really nothing there, and the floor plan on the inside is very small. There are just so many details which I plan to include on my models, such as the bike rack, which would have made such good sense. Just 3 extra pieces and you've got this whole extra realm of playability. And I really am disappointed about the fact that the food can't fit in the car with the person and that only one person can drive the car. What is this whole thing about putting stories and just people being able to tell the stories in whatever way they like if you're limiting them to only one person can drive the car, which means a family can't go shopping, and the car can't take any shopping home unless you're using the orange trolley, which by the way is a fantastic inclusion. As for the actual produce, it's by far the most disappointing part. It's my most excited part for the set was seeing what we got, and while I'm pleased that we do see stuff like the corn on the cob, I'm not a fan of the red pumpkins. I just cannot unsee the lanterns at this point, and I think that just focusing on the normal cherries is marginally disappointing. While we did get our shelves, I think missing a freezer unit is also unfortunate. I know we're going for the green stuff, so that's why they've done it, but missing a freezer and then also only including orange juice is just a bit of an ouch as like the only printed piece there. Oof. I mean, not even like the Nutella pots from the freight train, and like no rooftop garden or like outdoor space. I just feel like the composition's missing. If they wanted to go the eco route, that's fine, but I would have preferred to see a more farmer's market style like we saw from Friends last summer, or was it this winter? I think it was this January, where we had the Friends market stall with the taco truck and things. There's just so many missed options. There are so many brilliant Lego food pieces. The taco piece is another one. The watermelon piece, where are these pieces? They all appeared in the extra food set last year. You've even got the cracked eggs, which while I would have preferred to see whole eggs, I think, in this thing, there's just so many opportunities, even with the farmyard link, that I just think have been missed here, and it's a real shame. However, the set is still way above average for City. It definitely carries on the summer's legacy, and while personally it's just a miss for me, oh, it's so close. We're on the right track. City's doing well, and I'm still really pleased with the direction they're taking. There's plenty more to talk about with City, however, I think we'll save that for either a year wrap-up where I'll do a scripted video, or my best of most wanted of summer 2022. So let me know what you guys think of the new grocery store. Are you pleased that it exists, or disappointed like me? Recurring theme for this wave, and one that we'll be talking about a lot more here on the channel, is potential. These sets this summer have got so much potential, and we'll be discussing whether they hit that potential, whether they miss that potential as the year goes on. I'm going to spread it out, take it calm. We'll be returning to our normal content soon, as always. Only one more month to go now, and I will see you very soon. Bye bye.